Hey everyone, Granite Games Director here, John Swanson. We want to take you through the road to Minnesota. Recently we launched a video and it opened up some questions from community leaders, so we think we have a new process that will clarify everything and a couple changes we are making to help simplify the process. So we're going to walk you guys through that process right now. You establish your community and you get 80 athletes to register before the online qualifier under your community. Okay? We're not going to have you establish your team at this point. We're just going to simply have you establish your community. All athletes will go through the online qualifier. So all of your 80 athletes will move through step 1 and go through the online qualifier. Now it's extremely important that every athlete goes through this because their scores for the online qualifier are going to be either used for the individual sectional or the team sectional. We'll walk you through that in a moment. Let's get back to the online qualifier. The individual sectional is going to be the next step, and we're going to take the top ranked athletes for that, for either the AsRX division or our 3 Masters divisions. Those numbers can be found on the website under the About tab. Head over to the sectional portion and we'll have a full breakdown there for you. Let's say of your community, you get 6 athletes that make it to the individual sectional. They're going to go through 4 workouts over 4 days and submit videos. And at the end of the 4 days, we're going to take the top ranked athletes and move them to the Granite Games. Once again, all that data can be now found under the sectional portion of the website and the breakdowns of the numbers. Getting back to your community, you guys have 6 people in the individual sectional. Of that, 2 of them make it to the 2014 Granite Games for the individual division of either AsRX or the Masters divisions of either 40 plus, 45 plus, or 50 plus. There you have it. Your individual rosters are now set. These athletes are still on your community. They're going to represent you guys, but they're no longer allowed to go team. We'll move to the next portion. This is where the change is made. So instead of having you establish your team early on, we're going to push it back. You establish your team now. So you have quick math, you have 78 athletes left over. You had 2 that ended up qualifying. You have 78 athletes left over. Now you create your teams. And teams can be made of 4 to 6 athletes. You can have no more than 3 males and no more than 3 females per team. And once the team sectional begins, no changes on the roster can happen. Does not matter if it's inter-community. Once an athlete registers under that team and is rostered on that team, it's done. They cannot change teams. So that is why we're recommending that you carry 6 athletes. If the athlete were to get injured on site during either the team sectional or actually at the Granite Games, you will not be able to replace them. So it's important that you have 6 athletes on your team. During the competition, only 4 athletes will need to compete at a time. And you guys will find out how that works at a later point. But again, you carry a roster of 6. These athletes can interchange at any time during the event. All right, so the community leader now has 78 athletes to choose from. The first step is going to be to find out if all 78 athletes do wish to compete on the community team. If they do not, they will be able to then just simply sign up for the Open 2 AsRX or Open 2 Scaled. Registration for this will go later, and all that information can be found currently on the website. Say all 78 athletes do wish to compete. And we're going to walk through 2 scenarios of the community leader setting up just 2 teams. So if we set up team A, and the first 3 athletes are your male athletes, and the next 3 are your female athletes. If the first athlete is currently ranked 5th overall from the online qualifier, this athlete is ranked 10th, this athlete is ranked 15th. And just by chance, the same thing happens for your females. They're ranked 5th, 10th, and 15th. We are only going to use the top 2 scores per gender. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw out this score, throw out this score, and you will take, to start the team sectional, 30 points for Team A. So that is what they would begin with. Team B, we will do the same process. So we would take the rank, but say this team, for an example, only has 4 athletes, 1 and 2 being the males, and this athlete is ranked 15th, and this athlete is also tied for 15th. And the females are both ranked 20th and 40th. we will add up their combined scores to give them the points that then move into the team sectional. So once again, it is extremely important that your athletes go through the online qualifier. They do their very best, because even if they don't qualify for the individual sectional, or they don't qualify as an individual for the Granite Games, those scores will affect their team sectional starting rank. All right, so we have established our initial rank to kick off the team sectional. These teams will go through 4 workouts over 4 days. And the way it will be set up is, if you have athletes from all over the world competing on one team together, they will be separate submissions, but we will take the combined either reps, time, or score to create an overall score for that team, and that will move them along in the team sectional. From there, we will invite the top team athletes to compete at the Granite Games. All those numbers can be found on the website as well under the About tab for sectionals. Any of the athletes that are left over now that either did not qualify as an individual, they did not qualify as a team, or they chose not to participate in either of these, then can sign up for the Open 2 as RX or the Open 2 Scaled. And this they will get early bird registration, which is important. So even if you fail to qualify here, you fail to qualify here, you still get something out of it that you'll get to register before it does go live to the public. All right, so there you have it. That is your road to Minnesota. Whether you go individual, or you represent a community team, or you choose to compete on the Open 2 as RX or Open 2 Scaled, that is your road to Minnesota that will get you to see us in September. Up next, we're going to take a quick moment to answer some questions that we received over Facebook, email, and Twitter. First question, what if an athlete only wants to attempt to qualify under the team? What do they need to do? They will still need to register under a community. They will need to do the online qualifier, as that portion of their scores will be then used to create that initial team rank. So again, if they only want to compete on a team, they still need to do the online qualifier. If they get invited to sectionals, they will decline the invite, and then they will wait to create and join a team. Movement standards. We are not establishing movement standards because we believe going through the online qualifier and the individual sectional, that should establish our movement standards for what is then programmed for the on-site at the Granite Games. What are the boundaries for communities? We've set no boundaries for communities. So that means you can have a bunch of gyms get together. So if you have a couple small gyms that want to team up, or if you happen to own 6 gyms and you just want to create one community, you can do so. Also regionally, athletes are allowed to compete under any community. What we've done with the online qualifier, individual sectional, and the team sectional, that allows and will actually help make all that possible. Quick question was video submission. First off, online qualifier does not require video submission. However, if we deem a score is an outlier, we can require that the athlete does need to submit a video submission for that score to stand. The athlete will have 48 hours to do so. The individual sectional and the team sectional will all be video submission. And we understand that that's a little bit more work on your guys' end. However, we believe by requiring it for the individual sectional and the team sectional, it will really allow us to get athletes in the fairest and most competitive divisions possible. All right, question is, how do we create a community team and what does it consist of? First and foremost, all athletes to be on that team must be under the same community. Now, community teams are teams of 4 to 6 athletes and they're mixed gender. You can have a maximum of 3 males on a team and 3 females on a team, and you can have a minimum of 2 males and 2 females. Okay? Again, all athletes must be under the same community. You cannot be on 2 teams. You cannot be on 3 teams. You can only be on 1 team. When we get to team sectionals, you are not allowed to change teams. When we go down to the games, you're not allowed to change teams. As soon as we move to the team sectional, the roster is frozen. And we highly, highly recommend that you roster the maximum of 6 athletes, because if an athlete gets injured and is out for the 2014 Granite Games, you will not be able to replace them. Now on the field of play, we will use 4 athletes at a time, and you will be able to sub athletes out during the event. So 6 athletes can be on site, but only 4 will be on the field of play at a time per event, and you can interchange athletes as you deem necessary throughout the weekend. What is this going to cost an athlete to go through the process? So we're going to break it down. If you're just doing the online qualifier or the sectional piece, the registration is $25. However, if you sign up underneath the community, your community leader will have a discount code that will save you $5. If you do make it on site to the 2014 Granite Games, it's roughly going to cost around $160 per athlete. The team sectional will have a registration fee. It's at a minimum, we believe, $3, and that's just a processing fee to move you guys into the sectional portion.